The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is widely regarded as one of the greatest video games of all time. Not only did it bring the long-running franchise into the third dimension for the first time, it provided gamers with a time-bending adventure that allowed them to save Hyrule in two different eras. And it also clued them into a pretty messed up part of Hyrule's long history. Of course, when most gamers think of Zelda games that get a little freaky, the one that usually comes to mind is Majora's Mask. That is, after all, a game where the Skull Kid steals your face and tries to literally murder you by possessing the moon. It's often overlooked, but Ocarina of Time actually has something that's way more viscerally upsetting than anything its sequel has to offer. As you might expect, it happens in the Shadow Temple. As Link makes his way through, the standard dungeon hazards give way to much more realistic torture devices, including guillotines, spiked boards, and even statues of the Grim Reaper swinging razor-sharp scythes. Delve even further past rooms built from skulls that indicate countless victims of the obstacles you've been dodging, and you'll find the creepiest room in the game. In addition to a small key and, yes, more skulls, you'll find a single St. Andrew's cross, a giant wooden X named for the apostle who was crucified on it. You can try to scour the room with Din's fire, but the bloodstains remain on the stone floor forever. Keep in mind that the Shadow Temple wasn't constructed by the villains of the game. This isn't some torture chamber concealed by Ganondorf to deal with heroes like Link. It was built by the founders of Hyrule. And while there's a fan theory that suggests it was meant as a repository for pain and suffering that would allow the rest of the country to lead happy, carefree lives, there's nothing in the game itself to support that. In fact, it's the opposite. An inscription near the entrance flat out tells you it contains Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. Since the temples were built to house the seven sages, it stands to reason that the Shadow Temple was built by the royal family to deal with the enemies who opposed them. And the fact that it's adjacent to the graveyard means that this is figuratively and literally where the bodies are buried. The message here is pretty clear. Dig deep enough and you'll find that even a bright and cheerful fantasy land can be a kingdom built on brutality and horror. Just something to think about the next time you set out on a quest to stop Ganondorf from taking over Hyrule and, doing all the stuff that Zelda's ancestors already did to get into power in the first place. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.